Ciao everyone! Welcome back to the Eternal City. In this Rome Part 2 video, we're going to show you some iconic spots, hidden gems, and what we ate on our food tour, from the Colosseum to Trastevere. Our first stop has to be the one and only Colosseum. Built nearly 2,000 years ago, this ancient amphitheater could hold up to 80,000 spectators. Upon entering into the Colosseum, you can stroll through the corridors where you can learn about the history of this monument, including the politics behind it and the infamous events. Out on the arena floor is where it really gets interesting. Imagine gladiators battling it out right where we are standing. Walking through it, you can really feel the layers of history. You can still see the tunnels that were under the arena floor. These spaces house the animals, gladiators, slaves, and all the supplies and staff needed for the planned theatrics of the events. Did you know they could flood this arena with water, bring in ships, and have water battles? Next, we crossed over into the Roman Forum, the ancient downtown. Now, this wasn't just a collection of temples and ruins, it was the beating heart of ancient Rome. Politicians gave speeches here, merchants sold goods, and citizens gathered to hear the latest news and gossip. After leaving the Colosseum and Forum, we visited an unusual underground museum in the Colosseum metro station. Here you can find first-century artifacts like dishes and even idols, excavated from inside of groundwater wells, thermal baths, and even a town home. I found it interesting that they found all these hairpins, but there are many fascinating items to see. We walked from our B&B to the Vatican and passed over the Tiber River on the Ponte Sant'Angelo, translated as the Bridge of Angels. You can see Castle Sant'Angelo in the background. Vatican City is the smallest independent nation-state in the world. It is governed exclusively by the Pope and is completely surrounded by Rome. St. Peter's Square in Vatican City can hold up to 300,000 people for papal audiences and gatherings. There are 284 columns, and the colonnade is topped with the statues of 140 saints. St. Peter's Basilica. This is arguably the world's most famous church, and yes, it's massive. Both the church and even more specifically, the enormous marble altar were built directly over the tomb of the Apostle Peter. Inside the gold-covered basilica, the size and grandeur hit you immediately. It is about 730 feet long, and its famous dome rises 450 feet above the ground. The basilica is so large that the Statue of Liberty, without its pedestal, could fit under the main dome. The letters of the inscriptions are said to be over 6 feet tall. One of these inscriptions translated is Matthew 16:18. You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. Near the entrance, you can see the Pieta, one of the most famous statues in the world, sculpted in Carrara marble by Michelangelo in the 15th century. Just outside the basilica doors, the Pontifical Swiss Guard stands at attention. Their Renaissance-style uniforms were inspired by the Medici family. Next, we headed out and around the corner to the Vatican Museums, home to some of the world's greatest masterpieces, Renaissance art, Nero's bathtub, ancient sculptures, and endless corridors that make you feel like you're walking through history itself. And yes, everyone is here for the Sistine Chapel, but photography of the famous ceiling painted by Michelangelo is not allowed. Don't sleep on the lesser-known exhibits. They're like hidden treasures tucked into every hallway. We spent some time checking out the Egyptian exhibit. It's wild to see mummies, sarcophagi, and hieroglyphics right in the heart of Rome. After the defeat of Mark Antony and Cleopatra in 31 BC, the Roman elite became obsessed by Egyptian art, culture, and their deities. If you ever get the chance to go to the Vatican museums, I highly recommend it. After all that art and history, I wanted to wander the neighborhoods around the Spanish Steps. This area is perfect for people watching, high-end shopping, or just enjoying the lively vibe. Behind the steps, you'll find charming alleyways with tiny cafes, boutiques, and street artists. Basically the perfect spot to sip an espresso and soak up Roman life. Now let's talk food, because you can't visit Rome without indulging. Trastevere is a foodie paradise. Chelsea and I booked a food tour and it was one of the highlights of this Roman visit. We tried local charcuterie, soupli, carbonara, pizza, and had wonderful sweet treats, all while learning about their history. Some of the best little eateries are tucked into quiet streets and have been around for generations. After the food tour, we were able to check out the Basilica of Santa Maria in Trastevere. This is one of the oldest churches, originally built in the 3rd century, and it is the first official Christian church in Rome. The piazza outside is the perfect spot to relax, maybe grab a coffee and reflect on the day. This neighborhood has such a cozy, authentic feel. And that wraps up our whirlwind tour of Rome, from ancient arenas to divine art and of course some unforgettable eats. Rome isn't just a city, it's an experience you feel with every step, every bite, and every corner you turn. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for the next videos of our stops in Florence, Venice, Verona, and Milan. Arrivederci!